Well, welcome to Earth Explorer. Since Google Earth came out and since I was a little kid watching Indiana Jones, it's been my dream to explore Earth and find out all that there is to have, all of the creations of nature and all the creations of humanity. Unfortunately, there's areas of the Earth we can't do because of either climate reasons, financial reasons, or human reasons. There's wars all over the place. Since this program's come out, I've been enjoying searching everywhere. I found some unique discoveries. I've never really documented any of it, so I thought, you know what? It's time to start looking at it with all of you. Now, one of the main reasons I want to start this Earth Explorer channel is to hopefully one day explore some of these discoveries. Anyone that has to be watching this, I am purely interested in the creations of humanity and the creations of nature. I have no political affiliations, I have no religious affiliations while going through these items. I am purely here to discover what has been created from man and from nature. One thing that I'll talk about a lot in this channel is scaling. Earth is a unique structure, space is unique structure. The smallest molecule is the same as the largest mountain. It's probably one of the reasons that a lot of people say that perhaps we're actually just occupying a corner of space within the corner of a cabinet in some giant's universe. It's strange how our solar system can look like a nucleus. It's strange how a grain of sand or a little wave on the beach can look like a giant tsunami or a mountain. These are all things that we're also going to discover on this channel. So without further ado, let's start looking around. One thing that I've always thought was personally really neat is what the Earth looks like. I don't know if any of you guys have really noticed before. We'll just switch this around. This is North America. North America upside down, I might add. So we'll just switch this around. There we go. That looks a little bit better. There's Brazil and South America. We got Mexico here, Cuba over here, America, of course. I do not use borders ever. I don't like to see the world as borders. I like to see the world as landmasses. Borders stop our imagination from actually picturing what the truth is on how our world formed and how everything moved. I mean, even from up here, where are we? We are currently very far in the sky, and we can already see how these mountains move throughout the borders. There's no America, there's no Canada as far as Earth's concerned. It's just a landmass. We are, however, very concerned, and we do have our borders. The cool thing I like, though, is this. This is the North Pole. There's not a lot of snow. It's actually just pretty much a body of water. The cool thing about this is, look how close Canada is to Russia and to Sweden and to Iceland. It's amazing. If you were to actually look at Earth from this angle, this is a pretty small body of water. This isn't deep either. I mean, look at this. That's deep. You got a cool drop off here. This is a massive mountain that's going all the way. But over here, this is relatively shallow in terms of oceanic depths. It's also easy to see how our ancestors all migrated around and how all of our ancestors all pretty much resemble the same type of human. It's my personal theory that we just kind of started somewhere over in the Middle East area. Maybe China, maybe the Middle East, maybe Africa. I haven't quite decided yet. There's too many different theories on where man originally started, but more than likely it was Africa when we were one giant supercontinent. And as the supercontinent all ripped apart, more than humanity kind of ripped apart and went all over the place. There is a lot of theories about a ice bridge that humanity came across here from Russia over here when there is land. We also have this. This is pretty interesting too. This is another spot where it could be an ice bridge. These are really just the tops of mountains. So That's a possibility. The neat thing though was years and years and years ago, I mean billions, we had giant glaciers that came rocking across this area. So anything that those ancient peoples built around here more than likely would have been completely scraped off the earth. That's one of the reasons also you see a lot of ruins and stuff in South America, in Mexico, is because these areas weren't affected with the glaciers, much like North America. A lot of their stuff remains intact. On later episodes, we'll be discovering all the wonderful jewels that these places have to offer. It is just beautiful, I have to say. Another thing that I personally love is over here, the giant gouge. Isn't it neat to see how most of our islands are actually just the tips of massive underwater mountains? And the scar marks that you can see underwater are quite amazing as well. This is known as the Ring of Fire. Go north. The Ring of Fire. So all along here is pretty much where the most active volcano systems are. They come all the way around here. And you can even check it out. It's crazy. It's exactly where there's a massive drop in depth off the sides of these continents. And it must be something to do with the drop off, and I'm not too sure how the magma is coming close to the surface because of the drop off, but it's nasty. I mean, this is where you get a lot of these earthquakes, you got volcano issues. It's a very active place compared to the Atlantic Ocean on this side. The Atlantic Ocean is actually relatively small when you look at it from this height. I mean, look at this distance here. This is nothing, technically speaking. If ancient peoples were to actually disembark from here, is this landform? Let's see, what do we have here? That has nothing to do with what we're looking at. Alright, those aren't actually any landform. Now, one big thing I do with Google Earth is I actually try to use as least filters as possible. I want to see the rawest scan that they have. Sometimes I question how good the scan is. Oh, this is a good example of the top of a mountain. Look at this. You can see that this is a massive mountain, and the very, 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 very top, whoop, more than likely, actually, this is probably an atoll. So an atoll is a really neat structure. This is crazy, because this looks like water to me, but I'm not too sure. An atoll is basically a volcano that's gone. It came a volcano that has breached the surface of the water and subsided since then. So basically the water comes breaching into the sides of the volcano, and you get left with this really cool structure. Sometimes they're coral, sometimes they're full of dirt. There's a whole, look at this. This atoll is just inches off the water, basically an exposed reef. This is really cool. So please, anyone, come along and either open up Google Earth and follow along with me, or just Google some of these. If you have any questions or you see something really neat that I missed, feel free to comment and keep posting, and we'll do this as a community thing. And hopefully one day Google might even be generous enough to allow me to investigate some of these things. Come on. Oh, look at this. So actually we do have sand. What do we got? A landmass up here? Alright, perfect. Let's see what this looks like. Boom. Got a little hut. Look at this. This is crazy. And then right to the water. So these are the type of places that you hear when people say like ocean levels rising, what will be affected. These are the type of places that probably will be affected first. but ocean levels have raised and lowered throughout humanity with glaciers, so as long as we do our part, anything else that happens really is up to nature to control. So that's a pretty cool little atoll for an example. So this is another theory on how ancient people got across the ocean, is they basically just bounced from atoll to atoll. Oh, this is a great example of the top of a mountain. Look at this thing. We got a full-on airport here. I'm not using borders in places. I do like to search for places and go from there. So we will be searching specific countries. We will be searching specific ruins, specific geological features. But when I'm just hunting around, I don't like my mind to be burdened by a country. I want my mind to be free and just kind of float around and look at how Earth has kind of taught me to float around. Sometimes you'll see like a little river. Like even here, look at this. Itty bitty little ripples from space, but we all know that those are actually substantial ripples coming in. Of course, my photo I choose as a very calm little beach. But normally speaking, I mean, like we know these are big. I can get photos of those being big. So it's kind of neat to see, like, you see splotches and you kind of follow those type of things. Some of the things that I have found are some really neat structures in some different countries. In Canada, I followed some old logging routes, which is pretty cool. I found a half pyramid. Fortunately, all of this was like years ago while I was hunting, and hopefully we'll be able to find all that stuff again. So stay tuned and we'll be able to hunt together. The Earth has a lot of unique things to see, and I hope you come along and check them out. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching episode number